starting. But all right, water, very important, right? Has anybody here ever been dehydrated?
Yep.
Ugh, misery, right? Has anybody here ever been hungover? You've also been dehydrated, right? Because that's the main action of alcohol. When you have a hangover, it's that the alcohol just kind of made it so your body isn't absorbing water well, right? That is so miserable. I once got so dehydrated out on the trail, I think it was about 114 at its peak. I didn't drink very much for about 20 hours. It was a long situation. We didn't have any water. Went to bed without drinking. The next morning, I just couldn't stand up. It was awful. So try to avoid dehydration. Now, something that people sometimes do, and I did this that one day, this is one of the mistakes that I made. I had my water bottle full of water, and it just gave me such a feeling of security to have that water bottle on me. And even when I could feel my body drying out, I was like, I'm not going to drink that water. I'm going to save it. Do you guys think that's smart? Not really, right?
It probably lasts longer if you drink it, and then you're able to find more water.
Yes. What we say is it's better in you than on you. Right? When you start getting dehydrated, you start making really, really poor decisions. I can't even think straight when I'm dehydrated. So always drink your water. Don't guzzle it, but just drink to thirst as you're thirsty. And yes, like that gives you a little time to search for water. When searching for water, of course, we all know that water runs down. So if you can find a slightly higher point and look and try to see where the lowest point is, even if you don't see any water on the surface, try to get to that lowest point as long as it's not like too far away. And sometimes you can get there, and if you see a little mud or something, you can dig. In fact, that's how I believe it was the Apache, what was it, Geronimo? Yeah, this guy Geronimo, when he was running from the U.S. Cavalry, they would actually like hide water with sand over it, right? And it looked completely dry, and so they would go to these caches of water and they'd be able to drink it, and the cavalry couldn't find it. They just didn't have those survival skills of finding water. So always go downhill. The other thing you want to look for is brighter, greener foliage, right? So this one time we were in Copper Canyon, Mexico, and we were looking for water. And we look all around, we're like, okay, gold, yellow, brown, gold, yellow, brown, green. And the weird thing about this green was it was actually up on a hillside, which is really, really weird. Usually you're looking low, but we knew there's got to be water up there, right? If there's all of a sudden green in the middle of all this gold and brown, right? So we hiked up, and there was a cave, and it was just dripping the sweetest water I've ever tasted in my life. So it really depends on where, like the water table, whatever is over that, is the thinnest, and water is just very opportunistic. It just wants to go where it's easiest to come up to the surface. So we went up there, filled our water bottles. It was amazing. But generally, yeah, you want to look low, and you want to look for green foliage. Let's see, better in you and on you. Another thing, if you've got food, say dry food, trail mix, granola bars, something like that, but you're out of water, you don't want to eat your food, because digestion actually takes a lot of the water from our body.
And it dries out too.
It dries you right out. That food is in your stomach, and it needs water to be digested, so it soaks it in from your bloodstream, and then you're even more dehydrated. There's a very sad story about a family. It was a mom, a dad, and a kid, and they were out in their car. I believe, I don't know why they got caught, but they got caught somewhere, and they had a couple of granola bars. And so mom and dad, because they love their kids so much, they were feeding him the granola bars. And he knew intuitively, he's like, I don't want to eat. But they kept pushing him. They're like, come on, you got to eat. You got to survive. Guess who died? It was the kiddo, because they didn't have any water. And he ate all those granola bars, and it just desiccated his little body, right? So if you don't have any water, do not eat food. Maybe if it was something really, if you have an orange or something. But even then, I'd say squeeze the juice out of it and just drink that juice. But even that, I think, actually takes more water to, digest than it does. Yeah, I'm not sure. Our boss definitely says don't even drink juice. I think I'd be tempted, though. The other thing, if you guys have watched Bear Grylls, what does he do when he's dehydrated?
Terrible decision.
Or he's drinking apple juice and saying it's urine.
Yeah, he's rough. A lot of the people that we work with have actually consulted for Bear Grylls, and I'm not here to smear anybody's reputation, but just remember what you see on his show is generally for entertainment. It's not education. So do not drink your pee, because what your body has done is worked so hard to get rid of these toxins or these extra salts. It's putting it outside of your body, and if you drink it up again, it's going to have to work doubly as hard again to get rid of it. Now, if you could create some kind of solar still or something, you might be able to, get some of those impurities out of it. But generally, we just say, please do not drink your pee.
Worst case scenario, like.
I never would. Yeah.
And it's not just because it's gross.
Die first.
Yeah, when they say, you read something on, in the newspaper, on the internet, and it's like, oh, she survived because she drank her pee. It's really she survived despite drinking her own pee. Because,
unless you can
it's never a
distill
good
it.
idea. Yeah, if you can, I said that. Okay. But that you would need plastic and all kinds of things. I believe it's in Boy Scouts or something. They teach that if you're low on water, dig a hole and put, like a cup under in the hole with a bunch of vegetation. Pick all the vegetation, put a tarp over it, put a rock on the tarp, and then the vegetation will, the water will come out of it and condense and go down and hit that low point of the tarp with the rock and drip into the water thing. If you're already low on water, that is a great thing to try if you have plenty of water. But if you're already low on water and you're running around digging holes and gathering vegetation, that's just going to dehydrate you faster. So I would avoid any really crazy activity at that time. Another great way to collect water, if there's any vegetation at all around, you wait until the dew point, which is right before dawn or around dawn. You could probably spend about an hour doing it. Grab your t-shirt. Cotton is great for this. Go out there if there's grasses and just do this kind of thing until your t-shirt's all wet. Squeeze it out. Get that water. Go out. Collect some more, as much as you can. Because you can actually collect about enough for a day if there's enough vegetation and enough dew.
Yes.
So that even happens in the desert. Yeah. Zion actually remembers, and he asks really good questions, but he knows a lot of this stuff. So, oh yeah. Okay. So if you're low on the topography, and you think this is where water should collect, but there's none there, you can dig down. That's one time I would say, exert yourself, especially if it looks dark, if it looks muddy. You probably will find water somewhere around there. What if you find some water and it is just nasty? There's little worms.
If you find a lake, you want to dig a hole.
Yeah, that's so good. So you find a lake, nasty, you see little worms. I have we used to drink out of cow tanks, and there are little worms darting around in there. It's kind of nasty.
You can see the cow poop in the water that you're sourcing from.
Yeah, I've seen a dead mouse. Okay, we don't want to talk about it. Anyway, but you need water. You need water, right?
Even if it has cow poop in it.
Yeah. So are you gonna drink?
Okay, so
Don't stir up
not
the
be
water.
worried. Of course you don't want to stir it. You don't want to stir up any of that, but you're not worried about feces being in the water.
Well, let's talk about this. So Zion had a really good point. He was saying, if you come over here a little bit and dig a hole, and then the water wells up through that hole, it is straining a little bit through that, the
Soil.
intervening soil, right? And so that'll get some of the worms and some of the big stuff out. But of course, there's still going to be pathogens in there. There's still going to be something. But how long does it take for you to get some kind of stomach bug and die from it? Any ideas? It's usually upwards of around 2 weeks. It takes a long time. In fact, when we would drink off of the trail, we would drink just natural water.
I have one
Usually-
more question.
Oh, let me finish this part and then I'll come back to you. So we would drink the natural water. Say we didn't have purification tools, we couldn't boil it or whatever. It would usually be several weeks later before you even get sick. It takes a while for all that bacteria to divide and multiply and get in your system. And especially if you've had antibiotics or something else, bacteria is really opportunistic. It'll take hold, right? Anyway, though, it takes a long time. But how long does it take to die from dehydration? 3 days, plus or minus.
And that's how search and rescue is going to find you by that point.
Or you're dead. But but hopefully they find you and you get medical care. So if you are dehydrated, just drink whatever water is available. Now, if it's moving and bubbly, that means there's some oxidation going on. I don't know if I said that right, but that kind of stuff, you want that white water. So if there's a stretch of river that's been all crazy and stuff, go past that, downstream of that.